Hello everybody and welcome back to Riders Blockbuster. My name is Creed, and if you like animated films that seem cute on the outside but in reality have incredibly heart-wrenching and emotional moments that force you to grow up a little bit faster than you probably should have and leave you with fragmented memories of trauma, then I definitely think that you should watch Ringing Bell. This movie can be found for absolutely free on Tubi, and I'll be sure to put a link in the description below, but there will be spoilers in this breakdown, so if you want to avoid those, don't forget to watch the movie first. Click on that link, go watch it, it's really worth it. But yeah, without further ado, let's go ahead and get into it. We open and we see a blanket of winter snow lightly falling on the forest floor. The seasons progress, changing into spring, and we see a hut where all of the sheep go to sleep. In the fields, we see our main character. He is a young lamb named Chirin. He's got a little bell around his neck. He's super cute. He's just living the carefree life of a child. He's never really questions his place in the world, never really understands what it means to be a sheep, right? He never understands that he's kind of on the lower end of the totem pole, that while he might have this carefree life, he's actually, you know, a prey animal. He's not someone who has this incredibly adventurous and exciting life or anything like that. He's just going around, he's having a good time.
Subscribe.
Right now, when his mother stops him from leaving the fence, and she says, if you go beyond the fence, you will enter the territory of the wolf. He lives up on the mountain. He is dangerous. We don't want to mess with him. Do not go bother the wolf. And that's the first time that Chirin really gets the sense that there might be danger in the world. One night, Chirin's mother goes back to the hut and she realizes she can't find Chirin, so she starts freaking out a little bit. She runs back to the fields to find her child, and she does. She finds him. He was just playing around. He lost track of time. He didn't realize everyone had gone to bed, and she is, while she's upset, she's also incredibly relieved. She breaks down crying. She's hugging her kid, while also, chastising him, but the feeling of relief is definitely the one that overcomes her the most. During that night, we hear outside the guard dogs all start to bark. The barks turn into whimpers and the sheep become afraid, knowing exactly what's going on. They know that the wolf is attacking. Moments later, the front door is torn open and the sheep start to just all panic. Chirin is still pretty sleepy. He's not entirely sure what's going on, so he just stares at the wolf, not knowing what to do or anything like that. His mother is able to run and jump on top of Chirin before the wolf attacks, absorbing the attack and ending up sacrificing herself in the process. Chirin does not understand what's going on. He thinks his mother is just asleep after the wolf has left. He tries waking her up and he slowly comes to the realization of the truth. He comes to find that she is dead. In a scene that gives The Land Before Time a run for its money, and listen, I understand how big of a claim that is. This is one of the saddest scenes that I've ever seen in an animated movie. Remember when Littlefoot finds his mom dead and it's super sad, and all of us who watched The Land Before Time shows growing up all remember that moment, and it has a crazy huge impact on us. If I had seen this movie as a child, it would have destroyed me. This scene is brutal. Chirin is sobbing and screaming at the other sheep. It's just so sad because it feels genuine, it feels real. You can feel the loss that Chirin's having. It is just projected outwards. And at the end, he just says, I don't want to be a sheep anymore. I don't want to be one of you guys who were all cowering while my mother was killed. And so he leaves the hut. Chirin makes the decision. He wants revenge. He wants to kill the wolf for killing his mother. He climbs the mountain, struggling the entire way, but pushing his way past his limits that he thought he had, until he gets to the top of the mountain where he finds the wolf just laying on his rock throne. Chirin attacks the wolf over and over again, but the wolf just pays him no mind. He doesn't care. It's a wolf against a little lamb. What is the lamb going to possibly do against the wolf? Chirin comes to the realization that maybe revenge isn't actually what he wants, and what he actually wants is to become strong just like the wolf. He goes up to the wolf and he says, listen, I've made the decision. I am going to be your apprentice. I need you to teach me how to be a wolf. I need you to teach me how to be strong. And the wolf just doesn't pay him any mind still. He still just sees this little lamb. He just doesn't think he's worth anything, so he continues to live his life the way that he would. That the wolf would just regularly go out on the hunt. He would regularly go continue to do what he's been doing, but the entire time now, Charon is following him around. He is on his trail, he's watching as the wolf is hunting down and killing, and he sees this snake attack a bird. And Charon goes to help the bird out, and in the process he crushes the bird's nest. He crushes all of the eggs, and he breaks down. He realizes that he has killed what he considers to be just, baby birds. He is responsible for smashing all of these eggs, and the wolf comes up to Charon, and this is the first time that the wolf really acknowledges Charon. He really acknowledges who he is, what he wants to do, what he is becoming, and we get this absolutely beautiful scene.
Good. Cry and let the anger out. It's the only way that you're going to grow fangs.
What's that? Grow fangs?
Yes. Life deals out few things besides pain, but from that pain you'll grow sharp, strong fangs, though they may not be the kind you can see.
Then I can do it. Wow! If I grow fangs, nothing can stop me from being as strong as you are.
Then I will teach you how to live the life of a wolf. But it won't be easy, Pipsqueak.
Huh?
For the world I live in is a hell where death is always close by. You'll need stamina, determination, and the will to survive.
I don't care how much it takes. This is what I want to do. I know I can. You'll see, I'll become stronger than a wolf. Someday I'll defeat even you.
We'll see.
I will. Someday I will defeat you.
Over the years, Charon trains with the wolf, slowly making progress to become more and more resilient, more powerful, more strong, more wolf-like. His horns start to grow in, his speed increases, his strength, his power. He's able to topple trees with a single headbutt, and we can see the wolf beginning to bond with Charon. After 3 years of being the wolf's apprentice, after 3 years of being a ruthless teacher, putting Charon himself through hell, Charon and the wolf have become almost family. Charon tells the wolf that while his original goal was to kill him, that he now sees the wolf as almost a father. He says he understands now what the world is. He can see that the role of the wolf might be necessary, but he can definitely see that it's brutal. He can see that the wolf has its own struggles that he's fighting through, just as the sheep are. The sheep are his prey, but it's not a personal thing. It's the role of the wolf versus the role of the sheep. They each have their benefits, they each have their consequences, but they are just inherently different. The wolf and Charon approach the home of the sheep. This night is going to be Charon's final test, his final proving moment that he is a wolf, or as much of a wolf as he can possibly be. They slay the guard dogs together, and then Charon bursts into his old home. He breaks down the entrance just like the wolf did so many years ago, and he sees a representation of who he used to be. He sees a small lamb who is carefree, kind of curious. He might be afraid, but he is more curious. He sees the lamb's mother charge to protect her child, and he begins to understand, to see his past, to see himself, and he can't do it. He can't go on with killing these sheep, even though he hates them, even though he hates what they are, how cowardly they are, how they let his mother die. He cannot kill them because he is still in part a sheep. He is still in part one of them, and he just leaves. He turns around and he tells the wolf that he cannot do this. The wolf chastises Charon, saying that he knew that he couldn't do this, that he was not really a wolf. No matter how far Charon had come, he knew that he would always still be a sheep. He's kind of trying to poke at him, trying to get him to be angry, to show his full strength, to hopefully turn and complete his job of killing the sheep. But Charon has made a discovery. He makes a new understanding of himself, and he understands that he will never be able to kill the sheep. The wolf tells Charon to get out of his way, and Charon doesn't. He says he will not let the wolf pass, he won't let the wolf go on killing the sheep, and then the wolf attacks. Chirin and the wolf have a brief exchange, but Chirin has gotten strong. He's gotten fast. The wolf has trained him well, and it's over quickly. Chirin puts his horns directly through the wolf's belly, ending the fight and killing the wolf. In his final moments, the wolf tells Chirin of his hellish world. He tells Chirin that every single day he knew that his death would happen someday, that it would happen at the hands of someone stronger than him. He says that he knew that someday Chirin would be able to be that person, that someday he would be able to be the creature who took down the wolf, and he's happy that it was. He was happy to help Chirin become stronger. He was happy to know how strong Chirin was, because when his death came, he knew that it was honorable. He knew that it was at the hands of the strongest creature that he's ever really met. And he's really grateful. He's grateful to have met Chirin, even knowing that Chirin is the reason for his demise, and it affects Chirin in a really, really big way. It gets him questioning where he is, questioning what he has become. While this entire movie is complicated and emotional, I think this final part is the most powerful in the entire film. Chirin is an outcast. He tries to tell the sheep that he was once one of them, but they don't believe him. They see who he is now, and it is so opposite of a sheep that they do not believe him. It cannot possibly be. And he doesn't fight them. He doesn't want to scare them, so he leaves. He goes back to his old home that he had with the wolf, but now he is alone. He truly understands what the wolf was telling him about his world, this hellish world. He understands how lonely it is up at the top of this mountain, how lonely it might be to be the strongest, to only be fighting for strength. Especially now that he's succeeded, he can see that he is there all by himself, standing at the peak of this mountain. He doesn't have his past with him, and he doesn't know where his future hellish world will lead him. Because the only thing that he's known has been revenge, has been fighting, and now he knows nothing. And he comes to that understanding while on the peak of a lonely mountain. This movie is only about 50 minutes long, and in that time it explores an entire life. It explores a lot of questions that I think we all tend to have as we grow up and as we try and find our place in the world. It teaches us often strength comes with sacrifice, that often the end result may not always elicit the joy that we were hoping it would. Ringing Bell is somber, it's heavy, and it's a wonderful reminder that regardless of if someone is strong or if someone is meek, the lives we live are complicated. They're all filled with different struggles that we may not see in each other, but we only see in ourselves, because when we're looking at everyone else, it's usually just a glance. Thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this breakdown, and if you did, don't forget to leave a like as well as subscribe. Also, don't forget to check it out. It is so worth the watch. It's got some awesome music, it's got really good animation, and there's so many good dialogue scenes that I just can't show, that I can't do justice on this movie. But yeah, thank you guys so much for watching. Bye-bye!
Subscribe.